Hello and welcome back to Juliet Paco Designs. I am Jules and I am here with a sewing project today, actually. I know I usually bring you knitting projects, but today we're going to be sewing. I'm going to be sewing the Lil Bucky bag by Layla Makes, which is a cute little just bucket bag, little whip project bag. And I've been seeing it a lot on Instagram. I have it saved in my Thread Loops account. I've been wanting to sew it for a while. It's a free pattern, so that makes it very appealing. So it's been in my queue for a while. I just haven't gotten around to it. And then last week when I was at H&H with my friend Sarah from Boston Fiber Company, they had just sewn a Lil Bucky bag. And it just kind of like reminded me that I wanted to make one and that and it, just motivated me to actually do it. I'm going to be traveling in Europe for 3 weeks, starting next week. So I just wanted a little project bag that I could carry around on my travels. And I wanted something small. So actually, I'm really glad I saw Sarah's Lil Bucky because they made theirs, I believe like full size, like normal size, according to the pattern. But I wanted mine to be a little bit smaller. I don't think I realized, I think in like photos and stuff, it's like, it looks a lot smaller than it actually is. And I wanted a really small project bag, like a mini Bucky. We might be joined by Ghost momentarily. We'll see. I normally don't like it when she's around when I'm sewing because, yep, there she is. She can be here for the talking part though. Say hi to the camera. So I'm glad I got to see Sarah's and see the full size bag because I then decided to make mine a little bit smaller. So I actually printed out the pattern at about 87% size because I think in the pattern as it is, the base, it's a circular base, it's a bucket bag. The base is 8 inches diameter, I believe. And I wanted mine to be more like 7. So that's like 87%. So I just printed it at 87%. A lot of people, I think, don't even necessarily print out the pattern to cut it because most of it, other than the circular base, most of it is just rectangles. And the pattern gives the measurements for the rectangles, so you can just cut it without doing the whole like printing out 20 sheets of paper and taping it all together. But I didn't feel like doing the math for each little measurement. So I just printed the whole thing at 87% and taped it together and cut it out, which I don't really mind doing for a bucket bag. I don't like doing it for like a whole garment, but just for a little bag, it was fine. So I'm going to be using for my main fabric, and I'm a little bit nervous about this. I have a waxed canvas. You can see it's pretty heavy. It's not very drapey, pretty sturdy, pretty thick. Waxed canvas is kind of tough to sew. I've sewn with this same wax canvas a few times. I did a Jack Tar by Merchant & Mills, which is a big bucket bag, which was actually I think that was the first bag I ever sewed. And then I did a Full Moon bag by All Well Workshop, which is a smaller sort of crossbody, but it's a circle. So I've done a lot of wax canvas circles, which is kind of wild because circles are hard to sew and wax canvas is hard to sew. So I don't know why I keep doing this, but I'm going to do it again, and I think it'll be okay. I've seen a couple on Instagram that have used wax canvas, and they look good. I'm sure those sewists are way more experienced than I am, but I think I can do it. I've also seen a lot of people are using like pretty hefty interfacing. And so I'm not going to use any interfacing, obviously, because the wax canvas is going to be fine on its own. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. It'll be interesting. I'm also interested to see how the wax canvas because the thing with wax canvas is it like gets creases in it, and then over time it kind of like the wax kind of it gets all shiny and nice. And with my Jack Tar, it's all shiny and nice. But with my full moon bag, that just like never really happened. And I don't know if it's just like the nature of the bag or what, but we'll see. I'm hoping over time my little bucky gets that nice patina. But we'll see. So yeah, so that's my main fabric. And then for my lining, actually while I was at H&H with Sarah last week, I got this beautiful batik fabric. This is just a little, oop, here comes Ghost. Please don't get on the wax canvas actually, because your fur will stick to the wax. Obviously Ghost gets all up in all of my crafts, but I try to keep her away from wax canvas because it does get kind of gross with all her fur on it. Yeah, so this is a fat quarter, a little batik fat quarter that I got from Banyan Batiks by Northcott. That's their little card there. Yeah, and it's just this gorgeous like floral pattern. And it is just a fat quarter. And the pattern for the little bucky does call for, I can't remember, I think it calls for 3/4 of a yard for the lining. But I'm not going to do a pocket on the interior, I believe. If you've seen the little bucky, well, I'll put a picture of it, but it has exterior pockets like in the main fabric, which I really like. It also has interior pockets. I just don't need those, not for this tiny little project bag that I'm planning. I tend to carry around, like when I'm carrying a little project, I just have the actual project, like the yarn and the needles, the actual project itself, and then my little tin of notions. It's like Altoid tin size. And then like maybe a retractable tape measure. So like I really don't need a bunch of pockets on the inside. If I'm doing a bigger project, a garment, something that uses multiple needle sizes, something that has, maybe I need a crochet hook, stuff like that, I like to have inner pockets, but this is just gonna be a little bag. I'm just gonna put little scarves and socks and stuff in it. So I just don't think I need the interior pockets. And honestly, sometimes interior pockets bother me. Things get caught on them and I just feel like it just feels weird. So I'm not going to do a pocket. So I think Ghost is, hey, stop. She's getting in my shelves. I'm not going to do a pocket. And I think I might also, well, we'll see how much I can fit on. I might do the base of the lining, like, because it's a circle bag. So the lining has the circle and then the walls. The only part that's actually visible, like from the outside of the bag, I think is just like the very top bit. But the base of the bag is, I'm just going to use like muslin or whatever. I don't mind if it's not in the actual lining fabric. I probably have a scrap of something somewhere that's in a 7-inch diameter. So yeah, so let's go get cutting. Okay. So here we are at my cutting table, which, and here's Ghost to join us. Hi, Ghost. Okay. Babe. We'll see. Yeah, I don't have a real cutting table. We don't have like a dining room table or anything like that. The biggest table we have is a coffee table. So when I need like a table for a big project, I tend to get out this like folding table that I use for markets and stuff. This is actually my smaller one. I have a bigger one. But okay, so these are all the linings minus the pocket. So it looks like, yeah, okay. It looks like I'm just going to be able to get all of the pattern pieces minus, of course, the base. I won't be able to get the base on there, but that's fine. I'll just use a muslin or some other quilting cotton or something for that. But the rest of the lining I will be able to fit on this fat quarter. So I am going to get cutting, and I will show you my progress throughout. And I really hope it works out because I can't wait to show you guys this. So I have done most of the body of my little bucky bag. The bottom is so ugly, so ugly. But honestly, from the inside, you can't really, well, so this is the inside, this is the wrong side. So from like the correct side, like down in here, you can't like really see well, you can a little bit, but it's okay. I'm not worried about it. It's the bottom of the bag. Sewing circles is hard. Sewing circles through several layers of wax canvas. So I'm not upset about that. The outside looks good. Like I've got the pockets in there. You can sort of see. I still have the straps, which are in the wax canvas, and then all of the inside, the lining and everything to do. And I am almost out of thread. I do not have enough thread to do all of the straps. And there's more like top stitching, I think, once you add the lining in. So I'm gonna have to go buy more thread before I can continue. Well, that's not true. The next step is to do the straps, but I think hi, Ghost. Ghost has been screaming at me this whole time. I think what I'm gonna do is switch to the lining. Oh, here's Ghost. I'm gonna switch to the lining, do as much of the lining as I can with normal thread. This is heavy duty thread for the wax canvas. So I'll do the lining, and then tomorrow I have to run some errands anyway. I have to go pick up prescriptions and whatnot. So I think I will just run to Michael's and get some heavy duty thread. Hopefully I can find this exact thread. I think this is from Michael's. It's the it's the dual duty heavyweight from Coats and Clark. So hopefully I can find that in this color. If not, if I can't find the exact same thread in the same color, I think it's kind of okay because I've done like the body of the bag. So it would just be like the straps that are slightly different, which is fine. And then I think like maybe some of the top stitching around the top. I actually don't know if that's a step that's coming up or not. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, so that's where we're at with my little Bucky. And I'll keep going on the lining and then hopefully get more thread tomorrow and finish this guy up tomorrow. Okay, we are back. It is the next day. I went to Michael's and I couldn't find any of the, so you see that? This is the thread I was using. It's not focusing. Well, whatever. It's the dual duty heavyweight. They didn't have that. I honestly couldn't tell you when I bought this thread. It was probably years ago. So I got the dual duty all purpose, which is like a little bit thinner, but it's just for the straps. Oh, here's Ghost. Go say hi. I just love her. Okay, she's gonna stay. She's gonna stay on my lap. Yeah, so they have the all-purpose, which is not as thick, but it's just for the straps and for like the top of the bag, I think. So I think it should be fine. They had like the top stitching thread, but that felt like too thick, and also they didn't have the right color. So I got this one. This one's the same color. So I figure it'll be fine. And yeah, we're just gonna sew up the rest of the bag and hopefully finish maybe tonight. I also have some machine knitting to do before I leave. I do this every time anytime there's like a deadline. I feel like I sew better and knit like better. Maybe not better, but I like having a deadline, even if it's like kind of arbitrary. So yeah, I'm trying to sew this bag. I'm trying to machine knit a cardigan. And also like pack and like prepare to be away for 3 weeks and like organize my life and stuff, and while also like still working. So yeah, and it's like already getting dark, so we'll see how that goes today. I think I can definitely finish the bag. I think I can definitely machine knit all of the pieces of the cardigan that I want to make, because then I just have to like sew it together and then hand knit all of the like hems and stuff, and that I can do while I'm traveling. And I don't need this cardigan. This is a cardigan that I'm hopefully going to make for my brother's wedding. I'm traveling for my brother's wedding. I don't know if I mentioned that. And that's not till like the end of the second week that I'll be away. So like I have time. So yeah, so gonna get back to the bag and hopefully finish it up tonight or tomorrow. Okay, I have finished my little Bucky bag. I am so pleased with this. I finished it late last night, which is good because I leave for Europe today. So I'm glad I have another little project bag. So this is the wax canvas on the outside, and it's already looking pretty, it's got that like scruffed up look that wax canvas gets, because when you like turn it inside out, you like are really fighting with it. So it got all scruffy looking, which I like. The bottom is a bit messy. Sewing circles is very hard. Sewing with wax canvas is very hard. Sewing circles in wax canvas is very, very hard. But I think it looks okay. It's just the bottom. I don't care. It's fine. And then it's got all these outer pockets. Look at Ghost behind me, causing problems. It's got these outer pockets, which are nice. Hi, Ghost. Say hi to the camera. Yeah, outer pockets. I decided not to do inner pockets because I just don't think I need them on a project bag this size. But yeah, so my lining fabric is this nice batik from Banyan Boutiques. I got a free fat quarter from HH Americas, so that was nice. So yeah, you can see the inside there. And then the bottom of the lining, so the lining is not tacked down, which I actually saw some notes on thread loops that people were like, oh, I kind of wish it was. You probably could easily do that, like after the fact. I don't really mind, I don't think. We'll see if I mind when I start using it. But the bottom of my bag is this other fabric that I got from Gather Here. This was, I think, a Coca cotton linen canvas. It's that like crinkly stuff. This was gray when I bought it, and then I dyed it with Kutch because I wanted it to be kind of brown. And then I think I was going to use it for a project bag, and then I never did. So anyway, glad I had that to go in the base of this bag. Yeah, so there's no pockets on the inside, but I just don't really feel like I need them. I keep all of my notions, like my little like needles and snips and stuff and stitch markers, in a little like tin in one of the Firefly Notes tins that are like Altoid size. And this project bag is it's pretty small. So my plan is just to have just the actual project in there and then my little notion tin. And I just didn't really feel like I needed pockets. I like pockets if I have a bigger project bag, like, let's see where it is. So I like having pockets in like a bigger project bag, like this. This is my town bag by Grain Line Studio, which is modeled after the Fringe Supply Co. bag. And then when they stopped like operating, they allowed Grain Line to like develop patterns so people could make their own bags. And like, yeah, in here I like having pockets. Well, it has a project in it, but it's got a couple of pockets here. I got my little sweater comb in there. Like crochet hooks and, and the yarn labels. I just like having pockets for a bigger project like that. But for this little guy, I just didn't feel the need. And then, I also don't know if I mentioned this, but the drawstring that I'm using is knitted I-cord that I made using my Cordsmith tool. I don't know if you can see, which is actually just, if you look closely, it is just 4 machine needles in like a 3D printed base. This is from Autumn of Size Inclusive Collective. She makes these. They're just super handy for making super quick I-cord kind of on the go, because I do use my actual knitting machine to make I-cord a lot, but for this one I only needed about 30 inches, and I was like sitting in front of the TV and I didn't want to move, so I use my little I-cord tool for that. And the yarn it's a superwash merino. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. I'll put the info somewhere. Because it's the same yarn that I used for the Camp BFC bandana pattern. I want to say I bought it in Savannah, Georgia, and I think the dyer is from Savannah. And I think the name of this yarn base is Savannah Sock. And I think the colorway is T for one. And I think the company is the Copper Corgi. I think that's all true. If it's not, I will let you know. But yeah, I just thought it would be really fun to have like the drawstring of my knitting project bag like be knitted. I have some cording in my like Notions tin in my Notions box, but the only cording I had that would fit in this drawstring channel is just black, and I didn't think that would look great with this. If I had like a natural one, like a beige maybe, but I didn't. So I knitted it, and Ghost has now jumped on top of my printer. So I'm gonna go deal with that. But yeah, this is my little Bucky bag. I love it so much. I have all of my project notes and everything on Threadloop, which is like basically the Ravelry of sewing. I'm loving Threadloops. This is the first project that I have logged on there. And hang on, Ghost is about to jump in. If you're a sewist, I highly recommend Threadloop. And I don't know too much about it yet. I don't know if there's like a social aspect, because so far I've already had somebody who like gave me a compliment on my bag, and I think you can like comment on things. So yeah, I don't know if you can like make friends or whatever on Threadloop, but if you can, find me. I'll put a link in the description, I guess. And we can be friends and look at each other's sewing projects. So yeah, that's my little Bucky bag by Layla Makes. Okay. The reason I am dressed like I'm doing yard work is because I just came in from doing yard work, which I will explain actually in a later video, probably later this summer. I'm starting a dye garden, but I'll tell you about that later. But I wanted to pop in towards the end of this video to talk about my little Bucky bag. I just got back from 3 weeks in Europe, and I took my little Bucky with me, and it was like the perfect little project bag. I made mine, as I said earlier in the video, I made mine at 85% or 87% or something like that, the size of the pattern. So it's a little bit smaller than the pattern. And I made it out of waxed canvas. So after using it for 3 weeks, I'm very pleased with it. There are a couple of little things that I probably should have done differently. Nothing too crazy, nothing that affects it too badly. I did, because I used wax canvas for the main part and then quilting cotton for the lining. It is like there's some parts that are a little weaker, and like I didn't realize when I was like doing it that you can't really see, but the straps are not actually connected to the main body. So the straps are wax canvas, the body is wax canvas, but the straps are actually only attached to the quilting cotton. So there's like a panel here and then a panel here, and the strap is like in that seam. You can't see it from the inside either, but like basically the strap is not connected to the main body. So if this were full size or bigger, that might be more of an issue. But because it's so small and because I can only fit like a one-skein project in there, it's not a big deal. Cause it's never going to be too heavy. So I'm not really worried about that. I might go in and reinforce it a little bit at some point. I also realized, I think I did like the final seam wrong, like where you connect the lining to the body of the bag, because it's weird. There's like the lining of the bag, and then there's this little bit with the drawstring that comes up above the bag. but then there's also this extra little piece, and I don't really know why it's like that. I mean, I get why it's so like this bit pokes out more, I guess. And I like it, but I couldn't really wrap my head around like how like I was supposed to sew that final seam to enclose the raw seam of this like lining facing, as well as the raw edge of the body. I think a couple of people struggled with that. I was reading the notes in the pattern on Threadloop, and I think a couple people were like a little confused about that. So I don't feel too bad. But it makes sense. Like once you start doing it, I think it kind of makes sense. But I was doing this, I finished this like literally the day that I left for Europe. So if I had had a little bit more time with it, I think I would have realized that I actually want to go through and like sew this, like sew over it again to like reinforce it a little bit, and also just to make it, I feel like it's not quite enclosing. Well, there is one part where it's actually not enclosing just because I missed. So there is like a tiny little gap in that section right there, and that is close to a strap. So I actually am going to go through and resew that to make sure I grab that raw edge and enclose it so that it doesn't tear or anything. But I also think, yeah, I think I'm going to go I think because it keeps like popping, like this part of the lining keeps sort of popping up a little bit. And I just kind of want it to sit more like that. I don't know if that's even possible. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm definitely going to close up that little gap and maybe try to fix that final seam around the top. But otherwise, this is the perfect little bag. It's perfect for a one skein project, 1 or 2 skein. I have in here my striped triangle shawl with junction fiber mill. This is 2 skeins technically, but they're each 50-gram skeins, so it's kind of basically a 1 skein. And I would have finished that while I was in Europe, except I messed up the edging and I lost it yarn chicken and I ripped it out and I decided to go in a different direction for the edging. So, but that's another story. So yeah, it's the perfect little 1 skein project. I had my Treasure Goddess scarf in here. I have a collaboration I'm doing with Treasure Goddess that's coming out later this summer. That fit perfectly in here. The outer pockets are great for like just your phone, like my cell phone fits in there perfectly. That I would put this, it's the perfect size to like throw in a bigger tote bag. So like when I was carrying around my bigger tote bag on like day trips, I could just throw this in there and then like also like have, if I didn't have pockets, because I was wearing a lot of dresses that didn't have pockets, I could throw my phone in the pocket of this bag inside my tote bag and be able to find it really easily, which was really handy. And also like I could put my lip balm in there, I could put my little mints and whatnot. So it's very handy. It's also the perfect, like it fits on your wrist really well. So you can like walk around and knit, which I like to do. So yeah, really, really pleased with this. Really proud of myself for doing this kind of last minute. I was surprised by how well it came together. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this pattern. I will probably make another one myself, maybe do a full-size one or even a slightly bigger one. I have a bunch of like Christmas fabric, so I might do one with like Christmas fabric. But yeah, so that's my little Bucky. Very highly recommend this pattern. And yeah, follow me for more sewing, knitting, dyeing adventures. Like, subscribe, etc. You can donate a Ko-fi if you feel like it, if you're enjoying this channel. You can also comment below. I love hearing from you. Do you sew? Have you made a little Bucky bag? Let me know. And yeah, I'll see you next time.